Are you aware of any conditions of his release for the incident that you're involved in with him?
Are you? I don't understand your question. Or
Are you
the
aware?
incident.
Are you aware? And this is what I think the question is. Are you aware that there was a no contact order that was in place?
Yes, from my CPS caseworker. Yes, I never got the paperwork.
Okay. And did you have a further occurrence with him in June of this year?
Yes,
Can you please describe what that occurrence was like with the court?
in June, I was at home at my apartment that me and the kids live at. He had called. I want to say, I don't know if it was one of the kids. He had called them and told them that he was on his way.
Ever seen a courtroom turn into a mix of therapy session, family drama, and tire-slashing accusations, all at once? Yeah, buckle up. Today's case takes us into Judge Boyd's courtroom, where she's handling the bond hearing for Dorian Xavier Gutierrez.
And so I had called, I want to say maybe I called him and was like, hey, like, how do you know where I live? Come to find out, he was at our house. He came to our house. I let him in. And that's when it went left from that incident in June. I broke his, I mean, to fast forward, I had broke his chain that he had on. I mean, because the kids are seeing his dad. He's got on new shoes, new clothes. He's got on a gold chain, Apple Watch, yet he can't buy diapers. I've got more diapers from his grandma than him. Promised the kids shoes, that never came into play. So I'm mad, of course. One, he showed up at my house. Two, I did let him in. That was my fault. I broke his chain. He left. He gets in his rental car and then he speeds up to my car and he gets out and stabs my tire due to me pulling his gold chain that his girlfriend bought him.
Okay. Was there anything else that occurred that day?
No, after that, I mean, he took off. Of course, I made the report. After that, no. CPS got involved again because of that, because he did all of that in front of the kids. So after that incident, no, we stopped talking. I decided to block his number because it wasn't going anywhere. I blocked his number from the kids' tablets because my kids are dying to see their dad and he's not making anything happen for them. He has not seen his kids at all, really. And when he's had the chance, he hasn't.
All right, thank you. All right, you want to pass the witness?
Now, here's the deal. Gutierrez was already out on bond for a serious charge, assault by impeding breath or circulation against his former partner, Jasmine Timson. That's already strike one. But then, a new case popped up, violation of a protective order and criminal mischief. And guess who the complainant is?
Witness?
Just one last question, if I may, please. Do you feel that the defendant should be released from custody, Mr. Gutierrez? Do you want to have contact with him?
I want him to get help. And I also, if you don't mind me saying my little 2 cents, prior to that incident that happened in January, I really don't have a good relationship with his family. And he knows that. They're not really good. They're good people. They love hard. However, I didn't like how Dorian was treated. And two, I felt like they didn't really do much for my kids. Before that incident happened in January, I reached out to his dad. I reached out to his grandma, Eloise. I reached out to his mother, Lori. I said, look, I need help because I know Dorian is going.
So I'm so sorry. I'm going to interrupt you because what is happening between you and his family is
Right.
really not relevant for this hearing. Do you have any questions, defense?
Thank you. Ms. Tipton, y'all were living together up until the first incident that you described in January. Is that right?
Right.
And y'all had lived uninterruptedly for at least a few years in that home. Is that right?
Yeah, we were fine.
And then he moved out or did no longer live with you, and part of that was because you were aware there was a no contact, right?
Right.
And as you mentioned, CPS got involved in this case, and they contacted both yourself and Dorian, right?
Yes.
And you can recall that the CPS worker went over with you that you were not to be contacting Dorian. Isn't that right?
Right.
And that he was not to be contacting you, right?
Right.
But it is true, and it's fair to say that you did in fact contact Dorian on several occasions since that time, right?
Vice versa. Yeah, we both did. Yes.
And it's also fair to say that because of your frustration with the children and his interacting with them, that you had maybe tried to guilt trip him a little bit about not seeing them. Is that right?
No. Negative.
Is it true that you sent text messages to him requesting that he come over to see his kids?
Never gave him the address, but I was pushing that, more so visiting us at like a park, a public place. Never did I invite him to my apartment.
And you also were asking him or telling him that he needed to provide you some sort of funds, monetary funds, in order to provide for their care. Is that right?
Well, yeah, diapers, necessities that kids need.
Yep, the same woman. You can already feel where this is going, so Jasmine takes the stand and walks us through what happened back in June. She says Gutierrez called one of their kids, then magically knew where she lived, showed up at her apartment, and she let him in. Big mistake. Within minutes, an argument breaks out. She breaks his shiny new gold chain, because, as she put it, he's rocking fresh shoes and an Apple Watch but can't buy diapers. Ouch, her version. He storms out, hops in his rental car, and stabs a tire. Yes.
Yes, of course.
And at the same time, you're also aware that he is not, if he's under a no contact order, that does make it difficult, and that makes it to where he's not to be seeing you or communicating with you or being around even the children when they're with you, right?
Right, but he had people in place to where he could still see the kids. It wasn't even me at that point. It was the people that were ordered to be with him to see the kids. He decided not to see the kids. Continue.
But so what I'm asking you though is that the way it was set up with CPS is that his grandmother, Eloise, was the person to pick up the kids, right, and supervise his visitation with them. Isn't that what the orders state?
Yes, Eloise and his father, yes.
But it's true that you were also reaching directly out to Dorian in order to try to get him to see the kids outside of that. Isn't that true?
Yes. And I mean, yeah, and he came to my apartment without my knowledge. I've never gave him, there's no paper trail text that I gave him my address.
All right. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is what I want everybody to understand. I understand that these types of cases get heated. This is not the time for people to have their therapy sessions. This is what I want to know. Number one, did he have an assault family household impeding breath or circulation? Is that case pending?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is it against the witness who's testifying?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And then the new case, which is, I guess, violation of protective order
And criminal mischief is against.
and criminal mischief, is it against this person?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I'm telling everybody here, legally, and you can take it to your legislature, but you are not entitled to a bond, and I'm not going to give you a bond. And what everybody needs to understand is when somebody has a protective order in place, I understand that sometimes people's whole thing, when I was a defense attorney, they just want their boyfriend to behave. They want their boyfriend to be a good boyfriend. That's why they continue to contact them. That is not what the law is for. So he is on bond for assault, family, household, impeding breath or circulation against this complainant. You pick up another violation of protective order. I think everybody knows whether the complainant reaches out to you or not, which
Stabs. The whole thing happens in front of their kids, which drags CPS back into the mix. She admits she shouldn't have let him in, but says enough is enough. She blocked his number and cut ties. Now here's where the defense comes in. They basically argue, hey, this wasn't a one-sided thing. She reached out to him.
the order is in place to protect whoever the complainant is. You are not supposed to go over to that person's house. You're not supposed to contact that person. Even if that person is contacting you, you're not supposed to respond. That's what the no contact order is. So the court is denying your motion for bond. You will not be given a bond by me.
Your Honor, is there any way that I can at least address the court on some of these issues just to at least make my record?
Yes.
In terms of clearly, what trying to abide by these orders, there has been several instances of contact communication by Ms. Tipson to him, to Mr. Gutierrez. And of course, it seems to me that it's the children more than anything else that maybe stokes his feelings of guilt or his desire to help with the kids or what have you. It's been impressed upon him, Judge, since this time to have absolutely no contact whatsoever. And so I'm asking the court to consider a more narrowly tailored means by placing him on GPS, in a zero tolerance manner, so that he's able to work, he's able to be to spend that time with his children. I think by the Tipson's account, he is a good father. I think that the children would suffer if he was not able to be able to have that. And so, I would very much and sincerely ask the court to consider that or take that under advisement. As a matter of fact, his grandmother, who's the supervisor of the CPS case, is actually here as well today in support of him and willing to speak to the court. That's who he will. That's who the kids will be with if there's supervision that needs to be done pursuant to CPS. So it's for those reasons, Your Honor, that I'm asking the court to consider.
And I want you to know, I've heard your counsel's argument. I've internalized it. This is what I want you to hear from me. You were on bond for assault choking family. The complainant who's on the screen is the complainant in that case. And then you had an order, and it was a protective order, that you were not to have contact with her. Then based upon her testimony, you had contact with her at her home or apartment or wherever it was. Now, with regards to the slashing of the tires, she's saying that you slashed her tires after she tore your chain. The issue is you're on bond for assault choking against this complainant who's testifying, and then you pick up a violation of protective order. The motion for bond is denied. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who is here on Robert Christopher Pettis? You may be.
2. She sent texts about seeing the kids, asked for money for diapers, maybe even guilt-tripped him. Translation: yes, there's a no-contact order, but they both ignored it. The defense even asked the judge to set a new bond with GPS monitoring, saying Gutierrez is actually a good dad, his family supports him, and the kids need him around. They even had Grandma Eloise ready to vouch for him. And how does Judge Boyd respond? Calm, steady, but firm, no. She lays down the law crystal clear. If you're on bond for assaulting someone, you don't get to break a protective order with that same person and then ask for another bond. Doesn't matter who texted who. Doesn't matter if you think you're being a good dad. No contact means no contact. End of story. Honestly, the whole thing felt like watching two people who clearly can't cut the cord, but the law doesn't care about messy breakups. The judge even reminded everyone, this isn't therapy. This is court. And she's right. The courtroom isn't where you work out relationship drama. It's where consequences land. So bottom line, motion for bond denied. Gutierrez stays in custody. And Judge Boyd didn't even flinch making that call. If you were Judge Boyd, would you have considered GPS monitoring and given him another chance, or slammed the door shut like she did? Thanks for watching, y'all. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. And if you like these breakdowns, hit subscribe and the bell so you don't miss the next courtroom showdown.